Well, welcome everyone. Happy Sunday. It is a bright sunny day here in LA. Nice and hot. I already feel it. It's probably like 80 or 90 degrees already. But I am joined by Julieta from Limonada Creative over in Baltimore on the East Coast. And I'm so honored. Yes, I'm so honored that we're able to do this together. We've been friends for quite some time right now, and so it's really cool that now everyone's doing all these like Instagram lives and Zoom stuff, and everything's very virtual. So it's nice that we're able to co-host something together using all the technology that we've been getting accustomed to. So hi, Julieta.
I just told you before hopping on that this is like the most technologically advanced I've ever felt in my life, because I have you on my phone here and then down below on my computer on Zoom, and I'm just like, wow, I'm doing all the tech things. I don't normally operate this way.
It's so crazy. Yeah, I have my setup on my iPad for Zoom, and then we're on Instagram Live right now, and then I have my laptop open too, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, hi. So today we decided that it would be a really great idea to show you how to style some things at home, since you're probably stuck at home seeing the same things over and over again. And it's probably a good time to give it a little refresh, feel a little renewed and rejuvenated in your home. And we didn't really know how to go about with sustainability at first, but realized that just repurposing and bringing new life to old things was a great way to be sustainable with your decor. So Julieta, can you tell us a little bit about what you do over in Baltimore?
Sure. So I run a business called Limonada Creative, where I'm an art director, prop and set stylist. I've done this for about 4 years now, and if you don't know what a prop and set stylist is, it's totally fine. Normally nobody does, and I have to explain it all the time. But if you can imagine a movie set where there's a lot of different creatives that come together to build this end result of your movie, similarly, a photo shoot has a team just like that, and I'm part of that team. I help my clients conceptualize and figure out the photo shoot direction for magazines or advertisements, usually through colors, objects, aesthetic, and design. So that's what I bring to the table. Since I started 4 years ago, I have like poured my heart and soul into this. I love what I do. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this with you today, Belinda, is because I noticed that there was a lot of waste on photo shoot sets, similarly to events. So tell me what you saw in events that made you decide to go in a more sustainable direction.
So for me personally, I noticed that at the end of the night, there was kind of a don't ask, don't tell of what happens to all the trash. So I think because it wasn't planned out of how to dispose responsibly, everything just went in the dumpster. And that was new stuff, that was untouched stuff. It was just, everything was just literally just scooped right into the dumpster. And I thought, this is really, really irresponsible and also incredibly wasteful, not good for the environment. And I thought that there has to be a better way. So for me starting Opus Events, it was my way of challenging the events industry to, hey, we can think about the life cycle of an event more thoughtfully and more thoroughly from beginning to end.
Totally. Similarly, photo shoots operate kind of like events do, where it's a one-day event and then you just move on. And
right.
I work with a lot of food-based clients, and so I see a ton of food get thrown out every time I'm on set, you know, whether it's for the photo shoot itself or just for the staff members working that day. Whatever doesn't get used or gets sit out, gets tossed. A lot of materials that I have to use as a stylist, unfortunately, like tape and plastics and putties and stuff, they're really not organic materials. So it makes me feel really bad about all of that waste that I see. And so I've been trying to improve my practice a lot by using things either on set or at home, especially to counterbalance that disparity between doing your job and doing it effectively, but also being responsible for the environment.
Right. Something that I did notice I've only done a few food styling shoots, and something I definitely noticed was not everything is edible that's on the table. And so you can't even eat everything afterwards.
It's true. I mean, it depends on how, so I don't usually handle the food myself. A food stylist will do that, but yeah, sometimes they have to use certain types of oils or glycerin. Sorry, just a fuzz just like flew by. Like glycerins or something to make the food look shiny or have a certain texture. So yeah, sometimes it's not edible whatsoever. But moving on from all of that, so in working on things for my home, I also, this past year, I worked on a book called Attainable Sustainable that was published by National Geographic, and the author, Chris Bordessa, who basically was in charge of conceptualizing the whole book, and it was her idea. She's all about sustainability, and being a part of that book and putting it together made me so much more aware of other steps I could be taking at home to improve just our lifestyle and our environment. So I'm gonna take you through what I call the 4 R's and 1 M that I apply to my life for the most part. You know, it's not perfect all the time, but this is what I really try to focus on to keep myself being as sustainable as possible when figuring out decor for my house. One is reuse/recycle, regional, restore, restrain, and then the last one is make. So 4 R's, 1 M. What I'm gonna do is style this cabinet that I have behind me. It's a record cabinet. I'm not sure how much of it you can actually see right now because our screen is split, but you see the top.
I can see a good, yeah, I see the top of it. I see a good portion of it.
All right, well, I might adjust the screen a little bit just so you can see more, but so yeah, this was styled completely differently before today. I'm going to show you what it looked like before, and then I'm going to restyle it using objects that fit within the 5 categories that I just mentioned. So
first of all, can I just say that I really love this because I'm the type of person to like rearrange my house like multiple times throughout the year. I get very restless. So I love seeing this process of you just like taking something that you have already at home and just rearranging it to give it a fresh look.
Totally. And I mean, that's actually our first step is reusing, you know, where you already concentrate on what you have at home. So this is what this little nook looked like before.
Oh, it's so cool.
Okay, so there's a plant hanging, that guy's still there. This little candle guy you can see is right here. So he's still there, but I'm gonna redo everything on the top here. Okay. So going in with reusing, which you kind of just already mentioned, this is a cycle where you have a lot of objects already in your house that you can take from one place and repurpose it in another place, and it suddenly looks completely different or fresh. You can also change upon the season, like you said. You can transform something into something else by repainting it, by refinishing it, by covering it in something else, by reupholstering it. So again, taking what you have and turning it into something else or putting it somewhere else. So I'm gonna bring my first item on. Books. This is something a lot of us have lying all over the place, right? Usually, I take books and I try to change them around based upon the color of the spines. So I have this I found a really cool pink spine one. If you take the sleeve off of the book, usually, they have these beautiful paper spines. So most of the time I take the sleeves off anyway because they're really gaudy or I don't like it. And I just love the simplicity of using the book for what it is on the inside.
Can I ask you a question? Is there a reason why you started with the book?
For the purpose of this convo, I wanted to start with reusing because I felt like that was the most simple go-to task that you can do for yourself at home. And it's so easy. So that's why I started with books. But yeah. Also because it's in the corner, I guess. So it's a little out of the way. Right. I'm putting them in the corner and you'll see why a little bit later, but basically I'm gonna build different heights of things. And books are also a really great way to build heights. If you have a smaller object, it can raise it and it looks really pretty. Another way I reused a book in my house was I had this very, you can see the original paper spine here. but it was just like a plain white book. It was really boring and I didn't like it. So I covered it in this marbled paper that I just had lying around. So it has like these pretty swirls on it and everything. You probably won't be able to see it when I put it back, but I just wanted to show you that you can take something you already have, like a book, and simply cover the paper to make what is visible completely different or more fun to you. So, books. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next step, which is restore. Restoring obviously is pretty commonplace. You buy something old and you rehab it or you make it new. Oh, can you see me okay?
There we go.
Did I break up?
Yeah, just for a second.
Okay, hopefully that won't happen again, but where did it cut off?
So you basically, you put the book back. So I didn't hear what you said afterwards.
All right, so that was reusing. That was the first step. The next one is restoring, and that's taking something you have or buying something old or discarded and then rehabbing it into something fresh. So my example for this is actually the record cabinet itself. I'm gonna just turn my frame a little bit. So this is our record cabinet. When Nate and I purchased it, it was completely, it was old and it was, sorry, I'm gonna try to bring this back to what it was. When Nate and I first bought this, it was this.
Oh, wow.
So it was like this vintage record cabinet. The size was perfect for our space, but it was really shabby. Like the wood was all degraded and like warped and like rotted or whatever. So I got it really cheap because I got it at a secondhand store. And we refinished it by putting these like really nice, actually I'm gonna grab this because you can see it better. We put these slats on it.
So what is that?
So they're these little panels that you can buy at Home Depot. And sorry, this is my printer going awry. This is not how we painted it. But we bought these little slats at Home Depot, and then we basically sanded everything down, glued the panels onto the front and on the sides, put a new little piece of wood on top, and repainted it. And Nate, actually my husband, drilled these little holes to put these adorable little handles on.
Girl, it looks like a completely different piece of furniture. That is amazing.
We love it, and it fits this space so perfectly. So we bought it super cheap and we turned it into something that looks more luxe just from using a little bit of elbow grease and creativity. So restoring. The next thing I'm going to talk about is regional. Oh, what am I showing for that? Oh, regional, yeah. Sidetrack.
Girl, I feel you.
I really do my absolute best to support my local community in any way I see, better than, more so than a big box store. Not that I'm, downing big box stores because they provide us with modern products, etc. They provide jobs. However, I would rather put money into the pockets of people that I know living in my city and the creatives in my community than giving it to this gigantic corporation. So
absolutely.
I have two objects here that I bought locally. This one is a candle from Grant Street. It's 228 Grant Street. It's the candle company, which is a local Baltimore candle company. And I bought it at a shop called Bottle of Bread, which is one of my favorite shops in the entire world in this city. It's like a vintage shop, and then they also have a lot of handmade products.
I miss Bottle of Bread.
Oh my God.
There's so many Baltimore stores that I miss.
They are selling online right now. Like I bought this off their website. So if you are into vintage clothing, please go to their website. They also have an Etsy store, and you can buy beautiful vintage pieces and decor for your home made from like local artists. So candle.
And what a cool shaped candle bottle too.
I know. This bottle is so cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then this cutie.
Oh, I love that texture on it.
Isn't it beautiful?
That's so cool.
So this is another benefit of buying locally, is that you get objects that are one of a kind. They're not mass produced. So when you buy something, it is yours. Nobody else will have something like this. This is an adorable little ceramic that I actually bought at a local pottery store in Philadelphia when I visited there for a job. So I went there, fell in love with this little guy and had to have it. So these are my next objects.
What a beautiful color too. It's just a nice pop of fresh yellow.
Put you there and put this little guy here. And again, I'm trying to vary heights. So I'm kind of building on this angle at the moment.
Yeah.
Kind of reaching up to the candle here. So makes an angle. When you're making and styling, think about triangles, V's, pointing to certain directions, and also circles. This is how things tie normally together within those two frames. So, all right. So that was restoring. We talked about regional. Next is make. So obviously one of the best ways that you can restyle your house without spending a ton of money is by making something for yourself that's completely new. You can paint something, you can sculpt something, you can build something. In my case, I'm going to show you something I made to put into this space.
Holy moly, you made that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it looks really complicated and it looks like this really cool, funky, contemporary piece of art. But all I did, and I swear to God, was drip black paint on a piece of paper and splattered it around. Then I took the piece of paper and laid it down, laid another piece of paper on top of the wet surface and just pressed them on top of one another. I peeled them apart, and this is what happened.
What kind of paint did you use for that?
Just black acrylic.
Wow.
And
well, you are so talented.
The paper itself, don't use thin paper. Try to use like a construction paper or a cardboard paper or mixed media or, you know, an art paper, something that's a little bit thicker. Because if you do try to do this process on thin paper, they'll just stick together. So you want something a little heftier that'll actually be able to peel off. So I'm going to hang him. Also, I want to say that this frame, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got this gorgeous pattern on it.
Wow.
And I found this at a local thrift shop. So that's another thing you can do is buy things from thrift shops, again, instead of big box stores, reusing, recycling what is already out there that somebody no longer wants and putting it into your house in a new way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me if it's crooked.
It looks good so far.
Okay.
So right now, are you going for any sort of aesthetic or theme?
I'm going for kind of a more modern look. My before photo, I'll show you again. So this is the before. It had a pop of color like up here with this art piece that Nate actually made. My husband made that. He's a graphic designer, and this actually says home. If you look at it, it has home in it. I love it. I love it to death. But I think overall, like, it was pretty bland. So I'm trying to give this nook a little bit more of a modern, poppy, colorful edge.
Okay.
Just to like mix it up a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
My personal style itself, like I really like mixing old classical lines and themes with modern things. So I like to juxtapose those two fields, mixing old and new and like these bright and muted things all in one to create something that's really fresh and uniquely yours. I don't think that you should be buying all modern stuff. You can if you want to, but I just think it's just like everybody can do it. It's all out there. So like, why not try to mix styles and do something that's really you and what you love? And that's what I like to do. So artwork, that's making, that ticked that box off. Next is restraining. Obviously these days, everything is like more and more, you need all this stuff, but you know, this is just showing you that you can use what you already have. You don't need to buy a million things. Good, you know, you might have a good amount of stuff already in your home. So also practicing minimalism is a good way to go. You know, you don't have to put 1,000 things on a shelf to make it look good. If that's your style, great, maximize it up. but you always should think about minimizing and minimalism and how you don't actually need more than what you do. So,
right. I definitely find that the editing process is so important. Like I like a lot of texture and I like a lot of depth and complexity, but having that kind of balance and editing eye to pare down, I would, for my own personal process, I really like putting everything out there and then removing some things from that. How do you usually like to work with that?
that's usually what I do. I like jam pack it full of stuff and then I'm like, all right, it's a little too heavy, and I start picking things out. So I just have a few more things to add here, and then I'll show you what the end product is.
I'm excited.
So, got a plan.
Ooh, I love plans.
So in terms of being resourceful, this a tree, there's a huge rainstorm in Baltimore, and all these trees fell down and were lying all over the park and the streets. They were just gonna get thrown away. So I went and snipped a whole bunch of branches off of the tree to like elongate the life of it, because it's just gonna die and they're just gonna throw it out. It's probably not even gonna be used for mulch or anything. So here's my little tree from Baltimore now in my home.
I love that.
I like to put them over here because we've got the candle on that side. So I wanted a little bit more height on this side too to like balance that out. So Mr. Branch is over here. And again, my classic kind of informed vase. It has this like really like Grecian sort of style, but it's in this bright blue. So I love that.
Oh, what a cool little candlestick holder.
I got this for less than $1 at a thrift store.
I love thrifting. That's amazing.
So candles and candlesticks are also a great thing to incorporate in your house and use as decor items, because again, they give things height. And when you're trying to create balance and kind of make those shapes of V's and circles, they really help you with that. So we're gonna put him there. I've got another. This one actually, my grandmother gave me this. She went to a trip in Morocco, I think, at one point, and
wow,
got this little vase. So again, reusing
it's
what
so
you have.
cute.
It's so cute. It's got perfume in it, actually. Like,
oh wow.
I don't know. She got it for me. I love my grandmother. So this reminds me of her, and also like surrounding your space with things that remind you of people you love and that mean something to you, then that's super important. And I highly suggest incorporating that in your spaces where you see them all the time.
Yeah. What a cute little personal touch. I love that.
Put that there. Almost done. Now, what would 2 candles be without a whole bunch of matchsticks? So I've got these really fun, colorful matchsticks in a glass vase. I got these at another local shop called Trove in Baltimore.
Love Trove. That's gorgeous.
This is a necklace. I don't wear it. I bought it thinking I would wear it because I love natural objects, and it's made out of this like really cool sea glass. But it weighs a ton. Like it literally weighs like 3 pounds. So I'm not gonna wear it. But instead of just like throwing it away or giving it away, I use it a lot of time to just like make little nooks really pretty.
So I've been seeing this lately, like on YouTube with styling, people using a lot of like heavy beads and whatnot. So I think this is so interesting. I'd love to start incorporating this. So you just let it drape like that?
Let it drape. I mean, is it practical? No.
But but it looks gorgeous, right?
It looks pretty. And again, it's something that I bought for myself thinking and I'd wear it. And then I tried wearing it once and I was like, my neck is sore. So
yeah, that is really a really great idea of like kind of repurposing or having on display your really cool POW accessories that you have laying around.
Totally. So, and you can do the same with bangles or bracelets. Like if it's really ethnic or reminds you of a certain place, like why aren't you using them as decor? There's sometimes really beautiful pieces and like they can be on display. Like just because it's a bracelet, it doesn't have to hide in your like closet or whatever. It can be out.
Yeah.
So I'm on my last bit. So
Okay.
hold on a sec. And for this one, I want you to help me choose.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got this handmade ceramic bowl, blue interior, this like pebbly looking yellow exterior for a pop of color, or I've got this ceramic.
That is so cool too.
These are both made by local ceramicists. I did not buy them at a big box store. They're handmade. The difference is that one of them is like more fun, a little bit more playful. Like it almost looks like it could have been made by a kid, which for all I know, maybe it was. I don't know. But I love how funky it was. It was just so cute and different. This one's obviously a little bit more sophisticated. You know, it has this like really complicated checkerboard pattern, and the shape is a little bit more modern and trendy with the little like square top. But I want you to tell me, Belinda, which one you like better. So,
well, I already know. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it for me, but I'd love to see the other piece too. See, that's really cool too. Can you put the other one back? Let me see. It's so interesting how such a small piece like completely changes the whole look.
Exactly.
I originally thought that I would really like the yellow and the yellow blue one just because I thought it was going to tie in all the colors, but I actually really like the other piece better there. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It looks great.
So there's no right or wrong answer. You know, if you went with this, that would have been fine too. But basically, I'm going to try to do this so I'm not like blocking it. What we just built here is a little still life, right, of objects we love and source sustainably. And I used everything that is either locally sourced from my own home, that I made myself, shopped responsibly, not from a big box store. And yeah, so you have your center item, which is kind of holding this whole thing together. And it comes down in this V, right? And it goes back up to the candle. So I just created this like shape, moving your eye up and down, and then it comes down again with this vase.
Interesting.
So, or some could say it's a circle, you know, like the branches are pointing in a circle, going around the painting and coming back down here. This is rounding it here. And you got a circle. So again, like thinking in V's and circles.
Yeah.
So that's basically
finishing touches.
How you style your home sustainably.
This is so great. And can you, after this, send me like your before and after shots, and I'll post this so people can see the different looks. And it's the same exact space, but you've just made it completely different. And this actually reminds me of like a very California Mediterranean style.
Yeah, some would say that. I think the look itself is pretty universal. And, you know, right now things are trend-wise like super colorful and bright and poppy. So it incorporates some of these like modern contemporary touches, but at the same time using these classical items that I love. And I just, you know, I collect things like this all the time and I can't seem to get away from classical items, but, you know, finding things with a little bit of that edge. Just make it your own, have fun with it. You know, just because you see like there's the minimalism trend where it's like white on white on white on white on white. Oh wait, there's a little gray. oh wait, there's a little black.
Yeah.
But, you know, have fun with it. Play with color. Like, get out of the comfort zone and challenge yourself and make something pretty.
Yeah. I love that. There's so much personality in that too.
Thank you.
Well, if you guys at home end up restyling anything or create a little installation, a little still life, make sure that you snap a photo and send it over to us. And we would love to see what you guys end up making. That is amazing. What a cute little nook.
Thank you. Isn't it cozy?
Yes, it's very homey. How often would you say that you restyled this one space?
This is the first time I've restyled it.
Well,
love it. Since getting our like record cabinet and refinishing and putting it here, it's pretty much looked like what you saw earlier. So this is the first time I took those things off of here and kind of rehashed it, but it looks so fun and bright. I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
And if any of you have questions on how to style your home or your shelf, if you have any, Q&A sort of things, please email me. You can do that through my website, which is limonadacreative.com, or you can reach me through Instagram, which is @limonadacreative. I'd love to help. You know, right now during coronavirus, a lot of my shoots and jobs have been postponed indefinitely. So I really am trying to use this time to find out how I can help others with my talents and just kind of share the love. So
Absolutely. If you guys want to check out the rest of her work, definitely go to her website and her Instagram. It's so beautiful, so gorgeous. I mean, she's been featured in numerous prints. So, and you know, Julieta, you're so approachable too. So if you guys just have any casual conversations, you know, questions to shoot over to her, you know, please do.
Say hi. I love saying hi and meeting new people. Please say hi.
All right, you guys. So thank you for joining us. Thank you so much, Julieta, for showing us how to restyle your home with what you have. And we will get together again soon.
Thanks. This was a lot of fun. Thanks, Belinda, for asking me. And good luck with the rest of this transition that we're in right now. So.